As you guys may know, I love Let's Playing Sonic games. They're really fast projects and I usually finish them quick and clean, but there are bad Sonic games too. And some games that I don't like. And one of these is Sonic and the Secret Rings. So guys, here's my review of Sonic and the Secret Rings, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, with the release of the then new Nintendo Wii system, game developers, Nintendo included, wanted to develop software to make good use of the motion control capabilities of the system. Nintendo developed some great titles, but Sega wanted to create a new Sonic game for the system, which was later called Sonic and the Secret Rings. This game later on, with the release of Sonic and the Black Knight, will become part of the so-called Storybook saga, or something along the lines of it. Which is okay, because I actually do like Sonic and the Black Knight. It's a pretty good game, even if I didn't get very far in the story, but the problem is with the saga is this game, and here's why. First, we'll start with the story. Now, I saw a video about the whole story about this game because, ladies and gentlemen, I have never beaten this game. That's right, the game is that bad that I haven't finished it. What makes it worse is that I've only played the tutorials and the first level. That's it. So here's the story, brought to you via the Sonic News Network wiki. It begins with Sonic napping. When he wakes up, he reaches to check the clock and accidentally finds a huge ring while doing so. A character from the Arabian Nights book, who goes by the name of Shara, who is a ring genie, pops out of her book and into Sonic's world. Now, if this happened to me, I wouldn't know what the hell I would do. Anyway, back to the story. Shara reveals plans made by an evil enemy from her world, the world of the Arabian Nights, who goes by the name of Eraser Jinn. So Eraser Jinn is absorbing the power of the book, and is causing its pages in the world within to disappear. She even goes a step further and explains that if he is not stopped, his power will be unleashed onto the real world, Sonic's world, unless the legendary Blue Hedgehog, told of in the stories, can stop him. Hearing this, when starting the game, I thought, another enemy trying to take over the world? Isn't Dr. Eggman enough to handle already? Continuing on with the story, Sonic decides to help Shara to stop Eraser Jinn. So to seal the deal, Shara gives Sonic a ring that seals a contract between her and her new master, Sonic. Shara tells Sonic to rub the ring when he was recently given and make a wish. Sonic rubs it, and then he sneezes from a cold and humorously asks for a few handkerchiefs. After doing so, he wishes to travel into the world of the Arabian Nights and flies into the book on a magic carpet, stating, "Now this is first class!" Near the start of the story, while Sonic travels inside the book's tunnel of the pages, Eraser approaches Sonic and Sonic is shot in the chest with a flaming arrow that is slowly burning out like fuse. Eraser Jinn then tells Sonic that he will remove the curse if Sonic brings the 7 world rings which are scattered throughout the worlds in the book. If he fails to do so, the arrow will burn until it eventually extinguishes along with Sonic's life force. Hearing and seeing this for yourself would be a fright, stating that if you fail, Sonic dies. That's a lot to take in. With his life on the line, Sonic heads off to locate the world rings for Eraser, and Shara continues to go along on Sonic's journey, feeling guilty for getting him involved. I can see why though, bringing him here, then the enemy curses him, that's pretty anticlimactic. And so Sonic sets off with the goal of locating the 7 world rings in hopes of understanding the mystery of their power. The first place he searches is in the desert world of Arabian Desert to search for the Sultan, King Shahryar, the main character of the Arabian Nights, who resembles Dr. Eggman. Sonic first thinks that Eggman is behind the entire plot to erase the Arabian Nights world and attempts to question him. You probably did too when seeing Eggman at this point. Anyway, Shara stops him, and neither she nor King Shahryar know who Dr. Eggman is. After a short talk, King Shahryar is swooped in by a pterosaur, commanded by Eraser, which Sonic grudgingly saves him from. Sonic saving people like usual. He has not changed. I'll just sum up the story now because this review will end up being half an hour long. So anyway, Sonic traverses through Arabian Desert, Dinosaur Jungle after Pterosaur incident, Sand Oasis where Sonic meets Alibaba, whose real-world counterpart is Tails, the Evil Foundry where Sonic confronts Eraser Jin again, who summons a gargantuan fire giant called the Ifrit Golem, and Sonic and Shara freeze time to escape and fight it later. The Levitated Ruin, where they find Sinbad, or Knuckles. Yes, the storybook saga does that. Uses Sonic characters to fill in for real story characters. Pirate Storm in order to confront the pirates who stole the World Ring, and take back the World Ring known as the Water Blue Ring, in order to beat the Ifrit Golem. Skeleton Dome, here he meets the undead King Solomon, who has been turned into a floating skull by Eraser Jin. Sonic agrees to confront the resurrected 40 Thieves and get the king his original body back. King Solomon then tells Sonic that he must face Eraser in his lair, knowing that Eraser is said to be a genie of the lamp, just like Shara is a genie of the ring. After defeating the world's boss and acquiring the ring, Shara hands Sonic a mysterious relic and tells him to use it if he has no choice. In the final world, Night Palace, where Eraser resides. After several challenging obstacles, Sonic finds and confronts Eraser Jin. It is the player's decision whether he wants to go on to find the last world ring or face Eraser. After a heated battle, Eraser is defeated by Sonic. However, before he can be completely defeated, he escapes through a door and proceeds to lock it. The lock can only be opened by the 7 world rings, so Sonic returns to the different world of the Arabian Nights to locate the remaining rings. Well, that's assuming you haven't collected them all yet. After Sonic collects the rings, the door opens and a last chapter is revealed as another mission under Night Palace. In the last story, Eraser convinces Shara to give him the 7 world rings that she and Sonic have collected. Shara complies and reveals that she and Eraser were once together and that she wants to be back with him. Sonic rubs the ring and commands Shara to do what she feels is right, causing her mind to crack at the 2 different choices she wants to make. Eraser tries to sacrifice Sonic, the collector of the world rings, in order to gain their full power and gain the abilities of the creator. However, Shara blocks Eraser's blade and is struck down in Sonic's place. As Shara dies in his arms, Sonic makes one final wish for Shara to grant, asking her to not die and for things to go back the way they were. Although she does not have the power to grant the wish, the mysterious relic she gave to Sonic returns to its original state. Soon after, Eraser absorbs the power of the 7 world rings and transforms into Alf, Layla. However, his transformation is not complete as he is required to sacrifice and absorb Sonic, the collector of the rings. Suddenly, 3 of the rings, sadness, rage and hate, which were his feelings at the time, infused with Sonic, causing him to undergo a radical transformation into a new form, Dark Spine Sonic.
Shara! Please! Let me your power!
After a vicious battle, Sonic destroys Alf, Layla, and Eraser is returned to his original state, as well as Sonic. Sonic, now controlling Eraser with his lamp, wishes to bring Shara back to life, return the world back to normal, and for Eraser to be sealed away in the lamp forever. Eraser is forced by the power of the lamp to grant Sonic's wishes, even though he expresses a denial to do so, after which he is sealed in his lamp forever. During the credits, there appears to be a shot of Sonic throwing Eraser's lamp into the lava pit, which the Ifrit Golem emerges from. Shara, though back to life, is still overcome with grief from her earlier betrayal of Sonic. Sonic understands this and wishes for mountains of handkerchiefs she can cry for as long as she needs to. Touchingly alluding to the start of the story.
As much as you need to.
After the credits roll, Shara, as the narrator, says that Sonic ran endlessly until he found his way back to his own world. He is said to have had many adventures along the way, some with Alibaba and Sinbad, but Shara states that these stories are for another time. She then bids a touching farewell to Sonic, the legendary hedgehog. After the second credits roll, a cutscene is seen where the Arabian Nights book shows the beginning of Aladdin and the Magic Lamp. The title changes into Sonic and the Secret Rings. So that's the story summed up. Well, sort of. Well, now that that's out of the way, let's take a look at the gameplay. Now, first off, I'm not going to do a let's play of this game. Ever. This is one of the major reasons why. You control only Sonic this time around with the Wii Remote. Now, you're probably going to say, sweet, just controlling him with a D-pad and some buttons, or plugging in the nunchuck accessory to control him with an analog stick. What's so bad about that? Well, for a start, you'd be wrong to jump to that conclusion, because since this was a game produced for the then new Nintendo Wii, Sega thought to use motion controls. Motion controls! It was a bad idea to start with, and the way the control was designed was just terrible, but surprisingly, was used again in Sonic Riders Zero Gravity. And it was really good in that game, so what did they change? Who knows? Anyway, you have to hold the Wii Remote sideways to move Sonic forward. You have to angle the Wii Remote away from you. And of course, how much you angle it, the more speed you have. Tilting left and right will turn you into the corresponding direction. At least you jump and brake with buttons, pressing 2 for jumping and 1 for brake. But to use the homing attack, you have to thrust the Wii Remote forward. Talk about awkward control scheme. But it could have been worse. Like, to jump, you would have to raise the Wii Remote every time. Now that would have been annoying. Now on to why I don't like this game control-wise. I would normally be using the control having no care in the world, then out of nowhere, I'd run into a hazard, obstacle or enemy in the road, and I could have swore I turned away from it or jumped over it. Maybe I just suck. But I don't like the game primarily because of its controls. They just don't feel right. I especially hate them when I go into a no damage for the whole level, otherwise you're dead mission that they have in the adventure. At least at one point, I felt like I was throwing my controller across the room because of the controls that this game had to offer. Why couldn't they have an option to use the nunchuck in combination with the Wii Remote and control Sonic with an analog stick, jump with the A button, flick the Wii Remote forward for the homing attack, brake with the B button? Wait a minute, doesn't that sound like controls from another Sonic game? Yes, the controls I just mentioned were used in Sonic and the Black Knight, the sequel in the Storybook Saga. The controls would have been a lot better if they were used in this way. It's a bummer that I don't like the controls in this game. It's one of the primary reasons I don't like this game in general, and haven't picked it up again to play in over 2 years. Another thing I didn't know about this game is that the game's storyline takes roughly 10 to 15 hours to complete, but for devoted players who want to unlock bonuses in all 104 Sonic's skills, Jesus, that's a fucking lot. It would take a total of 30 hours or so to complete. So you have to really be into this game to finish it. 3 sittings at least. Now, one reason why I've never completed this game is because the control. It drives me nuts so many times. I haven't actually gotten past Arabian Desert, and the level that I'm stuck on is what I described earlier, the no damage run of a level. Well, technically, I'm talking about the Die Hard challenge, and you do get rings at the start, 30 to be exact. The controls fuck you up so much that I think that in about 15 seconds, it becomes a no damage run, otherwise you die. The thing that really has happened in a couple of Sonic games is that there is no life counter. That's right, no counter. So that you could die about 20 times and not get a game over, if you can tolerate it, that is. If I died that many times, I would have stopped playing and put the game away and then play something else. Because it's true, I've done it many times before, and I probably will in 5 to 10 years' time. This is why I don't like playing this game. It frustrates you too much to be fun. Well, the main story that is. I haven't talked about the other half of the game. The party mode! So there is a multiplayer mode too. Here you can pick from 4 default Sonic characters. They are Sonic, no duh, Tails, and yes, Tails, not the Arabian Nights counterpart, Knuckles, and Amy Rose. There are also unlockable characters too. Now you're probably wondering, how do you unlock these extra characters for the party mode only and not the main story? Well, to do that you have to collect Fire Souls, which, to compare to past and future collectibles over the past 22 years of Sonic, they are most similar to Red Rings from Sonic Colors, Generations, and Sonic 4 Episode 2. After gaining a certain amount, you will unlock new minigames, modes and options in multiplayer, or one of 4 unlockable characters. They are Shadow the Hedgehog, the ultimate life form himself, Cream the Rabbit, Blaze the Cat, a fan favourite, and Silver the Hedgehog, the new guy at this time. This multiplayer mode takes the form of having players compete in select minigames out of a total of 40, either individually or collectively in consecutive orders based on secular gameplay modes. One mode, Genie's Lair, has players participating in a variety of minigames for an opportunity to open a treasure chest with goals of locating Sonic tokens. Also, the game spans a total of 6 different theme-inspired modes that enable players to participate in select minigames. The 6 boards also feature various mini-events similar to Sonic Shuffle. The actual minigames themselves have players performing various tasks that take advantage of the Wii Remote's capabilities, though some are quite minimal and could, quite easily, be executed with the GameCube controller. A little fact for you that a lot of people won't care about is that Omochao serves as the announcer for the party mode of the game, somewhat similar to his minor role in Sonic Riders. I now realize I forgot one mode of this game, which is called Special Book Mode. In Special Book Mode, players can play the 225 bonuses, like before, still a fuck ton, in the game that are unlocked by beating levels quickly, achieving various milestones, and discovering secret areas. Some of these unlockables include movies of the making of the game, cutscenes, video interviews, concept art, and music from the game, which is a cool concept, but you have to beat the levels quickly. Quickly is the word used here. So you have to love the controls to do that, and for Sega's information, I don't like them. So this mode, if I ever play it that is, will be the death of me. So overall, this game hasn't aged well. It's far too difficult and frustrating than it is fun, which I don't want in a Sonic game, or in any game that is. I have a feeling that many people don't like this game either, so they sort of feel my pain too, which is too bad because this game at the time was something different. It could have been an amazing idea, but I feel that Sega and Sonic Team didn't achieve that. I give this game a 5 out of 10. The party mode is great to play with friends, but the wonky controls and sometimes stupid level design drag it down in score. If this game was just the party mode, I would like it more, but it wasn't. So this has been Mario Man 10100 with another review. Thanks so much for watching. You guys have a great day or night, and take care.
If truly free, be stopped never through all that's happening.